So today we're gonna make a kick, and it sounds like this. So today we're gonna make a kick, a hardstyle kick, from scratch. I always start with a Kick 2 plugin. It's a simple, but yeah, it's a nice one. Most of the time the curve looks like this. And I made it in C because when you toggle this on, you can match it with your piano roll, your grid. Yeah, like that. Like that. I don't use the EQ, I don't use the distortion and the drive. We can add it later, but first of all we need to make the sound with the other plugins. I most of the time add some harmonics, but we can also edit that later. So starting with the Saturn 2, and we completely bypass that, but we're gonna use that later. Then I'm using the multi-pass. That's from Kilohertz or Slate Digital. And first of all, I add a gain plugin or gain tool, and I go to -10 dB, something like that. That's because I want the sound of this plugin, you know. I don't want the sound of the mixer channel that's completely into the red. So we're gonna add some distortion. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna add some fuzz. And I'm gonna start to filter in the beginning. With the Foreman filter. And I'm gonna add some EQ. And I'm gonna start to it's already split in 2 frequency bands, and I'm starting to use the mid band to get some movement in the kick. Starting with some distortion. And then add Foreman filter. And then add the distortion again. Yeah. Gonna modulate that. Yeah, like that. Also a fuzz in the beginning, but just a little bit. Maybe I can modulate this one a bit. Yeah, like that. Add some EQing. Also gonna modulate that. You can hear that the Foreman filter in this situation is really important. You can completely change your sound of the kick with just a few centimeters of movement, you know. Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna use some EQing on the end. Gonna also modulate that. Yeah, like that. I think that's okay for now. Maybe we can add a distortion in the beginning. Maybe add some modulation. Maybe we can modulate this one. Just a little bit. And try to move some knobs, and then you can modulate several things, and then most of the time that will work pretty fine. Gonna use a separate multipass in multipass. Yes, that's possible. To get some more dirt in the I'm gonna also modulate that. Yeah, like that. Just some Fingerspitzengefühl. Something like that. Maybe add some more lows. And this is the point where the Saturn is coming in. Gonna split it like this. And then we're gonna add some warm tape. That's most of the time when you edit the slope function, so change it to 84 dB, you can immediately hear that the sound will change completely. Edit a bit. Then I'm gonna apply some EQing after the set term before the multipass. Searching for some more dirt in the kick. I'm gonna like that. So for now I'm gonna render this one, make it a little bit longer. And I'm gonna render it as a sample on 155 BPM, and I'm gonna render one kick in 100 BPM. That's because we have some more room to edit the materials. One moment. So now we have a short one and a long one. Gonna change the tempo again to 155. And I'm gonna use the tail from the slow kick and the attack from the fast kick, and that's nice to edit. I'm gonna fade this in like this. Give it a loop. Yeah, like that. I'm gonna try to align it perfectly. Yeah, like that. What I'm now gonna do is duplicate this Kick 2 plugin completely. And I'm gonna remove all the plugins. So no multipass, no set turn, nothing. So we now have this one. And I'm gonna make this kick a little bit longer. Like this. And I'm gonna render a long kick. It's because we now have a perfect bass for underneath our kick. That's a perfect sub. And I'm gonna loop this one. And it will, yeah, like that. So now I'm got all the low frequencies out of our sound tail. like this. Yes. And now when I move this kick a little bit, my low end will not change. As you can hear. So now we can edit this a little bit more. I duplicate the attack. So we have this. Super nice. Gonna apply some Pro Q. I need to type in a Q. And I'm gonna apply some bit crusher from Studio One. That's, yeah, because it's nasty. Like that. Gain it a little bit back. Add some EQ in the front to give it some push. Cut the low end out. Like that. And always when you distort things, add the EQ after it, because there is a lot of rumble. And gain this a little bit back. A little bit. Like that. That's nice. And that's nice. Sometimes you can play a bit with the length of this kick. Like that. I'm gonna add some reverse reverbs to give it some more air, some more movement. That's actually very easy to make. That was a macro function in Studio One. I can make, with one knob, I can make a reverb like this. And that sounds actually pretty metallic and harsh. It's exactly what we want. I'm gonna apply some high pass filtering. And we need to move it a bit, fade it in a bit. Like that. Also the attack, this attack. Also render this, and apply the same macro. Reverse reverb, sounds like this. And edit it underneath it. Like that, gain it a bit. Apply some high pass filtering. Get rid of all the low end. And most of the time I pen a little bit less on the reverse reverbs. So we now have the reverbs, a high one and a low one. We have an attack. Whoa. Attack. And yeah, we have a second attack. This is more a tick. tag sound or tail, and we have a sub. Sometimes it's nice to duplicate the sub, to duplicate the tail, and make it a little bit longer, and then gonna freak with this a bit. So I reverse it. Apply some filtering. Add some nasty distortion from clip shifter, for instance. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and also on this one, when you distort something, add an EQ after it to get rid of all the low end. Gonna distort it a little bit more. Like that. And also this one I'm gonna render and give this reverse reverb, because we can, and gonna edit it underneath. It creates some air, as you can hear. Now it's time to match this. And make it a little bit more mono. Yeah, like that. Now we put everything in a bus. And we need to lower our volumes a little bit, because we don't want red signals in our mixer. Gonna use the clip shifter again. And now it will be a little bit complicated, because I use the split function in Studio One. You can use nodes in mixing things. I'm gonna split the node in like 100 or 120 hertz. So the clip shifter only affects the sound of the kick, not the low end. The low end is over here, and the rest of the kick is over here. And as you can hear, some of the reverbs are a little bit like that. Yeah, sounds cool. Why is this there? Yeah, that's nice. Gonna apply some EQ. To add some freshness. I'm gonna compress this kick with Pro C2. No. Fab filter. Pro C2. Yes. I'm gonna use the tick, the click, or whatever. I'm gonna use that as a sidechain. To compress the kick to get some movement. Try to find the nice curve. Yeah, like that. Now we can push this one a little bit further. Gonna apply some EQ on this one. And after that I'm gonna use a maximizer from UAD. So sometimes it's cool to freak out a bit with another. When you use this tail and reverse it like this, or like this. Sounds pretty cool. Or maybe I need to make it longer, then reverse it so I can place it better. Yeah, like that. I'm gonna duplicate once again the kick 2 plugin. I'm gonna make an attack kick, just a little small one. Only for that oomph. And I'm gonna render it so I can perfectly fade it. Gonna make it to the bus. Gonna apply some EQing because I don't need the high end. it's too much. I think a little bit like that. So I'm gonna render this kick. So I make all the channels a little bit longer, so it's not cut out at the end, like that. I'm gonna make a channel to record the kick. Kick recording, and the input is bus 1, and I'm gonna mute this channel and put it in record and record the kick 1 time. Then I gonna check if the kick is loopable. So it's pretty cool. And then I'm gonna use the nimble kick to to be a little bit creative with the kick and check if it's nice to pitch, and something like that. So first of all, I need to import that in the nimble kick. So most of the time I made a new export and put it in. I'm gonna remove this out of the loop, and it's way too high. I always turn this off. And I'm gonna check if it's lower. A little bit muddy in the lower parts, like an E, but actually it sounds really rough. Oh, nice. You can. So that's a kick in 30 minutes.